Hey everyone, so today's video is going to be a Shop My Stash. So I will refresh the products that were previously in my Shop My Stash. So the last one was about 2 months ago. So I'm going to be going through those products and then obviously introducing the new products to you guys. So I'm just gonna randomly pick out products. I want to try to do these a little bit more often just to make sure that I'm rotating through my makeup collection. I kind of built up a big stash in my bathroom where I do my makeup. That's where I keep like my Project Pan products and just products that are in any type of project. So I will keep these items in there. It kind of turned into a little bit of a mess because I was purchasing some new products, so I just wanted to use them right away and I kept those in there. So I ended up with a bunch of products that weren't actually in projects. So I kind of cleaned that all up, and the way that I'm doing it is kind of having one product per category generally for this project, besides lip products, because lip products, I feel like I use a bunch of different lip products depending on the day or the look. So I want to mainly be using these Shop My Stash products, but I'm also doing a Project Pan, so obviously I will be using those products as well, but those are the main products that I am using generally from day to day. So let's just go ahead and get straight into this Shop My Stash. So the first product we have here is a cream blush, and this is actually in my Project Pan. So a couple of these products that I picked up from my Shop My Stash last time are now in my Project Pan. So this is the Lime Crime Cream Blush in the shade Flash Dry. So I have been using this. Obviously there's a big dip going in it. I probably will hit pan relatively soon, so this will stay out for me to use, obviously, because it is in that Project Pan. Then I also pulled out my Milani Baked Powder Blush in the shade Luminoso last time, and this is just a little mini size. I do really love this shade. It's a pretty peachy tone, but it's also glowy. So I had this on my cheeks today, but I also have 3 blushes on right now, so you probably can't really distinctly tell what it looks like, but I do really love this blush and I was happy to pull it out and get some more use out of it. And then I also had pulled out my Ritual Defee Color Nectar Pigment Balm in the shade Hummingbird. This one I didn't get a ton of use out of, just obviously because of the shade. It's not necessarily an everyday shade, but I was also focusing on that Lime Crime blush, so you definitely only need a tiny bit of this because it is so pigmented. I do really like the shade of this. It's definitely like a very punchy red, so I could probably get away with it for every day if I apply just a tiny little bit. It almost gives you like that sunburnt effect. Then I also wanted to pull in last time my Milk Makeup Bionic products. These were new to me a few months ago. So I have the Bionic Bronzer in the shade Time Travel and then the Bionic Blush in the shade Infinity. And I do want to get the highlighter because I really love these products. I love the formula and also the colors of them. I do have both of these on my cheeks today, but again, I have another powder bronzer over top and then some other blushes on my cheeks as well. But I really love the formula of these. They're great for every day and they do dry down, which I like, but they're not like completely matte. They do have a little bit of glow to them still, even though they do dry down. Next up, I think I rolled in my Colourpop Magnetic Palette and I have switched around my single shadows. So this is no longer the same. I believe like these cheek products are the same, but these shadows are not the same that I had in here when I previously picked these products out. So I didn't use this a ton. Actually, I probably will just keep this in my bathroom as like a permanent face and eye palette to have in there. That way I can get some use out of my single shadows. Next, for some eyeshadow palettes that I had picked out, this is the Elva eyeshadow palette from Odin's Eye. This is what I'm wearing on my eyes today, and it's just a really beautiful neutral palette. I love all the colors in here. I didn't really dip into these yellow and orangey tones, but I do love all of the other shades in here. And yellow isn't really a color I wear much, but the other colors in here I definitely reach for as some of like my everyday shadows, and they're really easy to use. The shimmery metallic ones didn't really impress me too much. I feel like a lot of them are sort of those glitter topper type of formulas, so they're not really intense and punchy, which I actually kind of like for an everyday look, so it doesn't end up being super dramatic. So I find that I can pretty much use any one of these shades for an everyday look, and my look always turns out pretty soft with this palette. There's not a ton of really deep tones in here. You have like this one deep purpley berry tone, but other than that, there's like a mid-tone brown, kind of a mid-tone to light pink, and all the rest are pretty light. So I find that my look turns out pretty light with this, but I don't mind that because it's a great everyday palette. Then another eyeshadow I had picked out is the Norvina Abh Palette. This is actually currently in my project pan, so again, this is another one that will just stay out for me to use and continue to work on. Then we have some lip products, a couple Odin's Eye lip products. This is the Elva Matte Lip Stain in the shade Sweet Peach. I remember using it maybe once, so I only used it I think a couple times, but this is like a matte liquid lipstick, which I tend not to reach for. I do like the color and formula of this. I just don't really reach for this type of formula, and that's why I don't have many liquid lipsticks in my collection. I will still keep this because I do like it. I just probably won't use it very often. And actually, same with this lipstick, because this is the shade Red Cherry, and it is their velvet lipstick, and obviously it is a bright red, so I wouldn't wear this very often, but I do like having a good red in my collection. I have one other red lipstick, but it leans more on the deep red side, and this is like the perfect true red color for me. I actually did wear this once, and I really loved the way it looked. I will pop a picture up on the screen here if I can find it, but I was surprised because I never wear reds. I don't really like bold lip colors, but I did love the way this looks. So for those specific occasions where I want a red lip, I do really love the shade and also the formula of this. Lastly, a few other lip products. A lipstick from Colourpop in the shade Spring Roll. This is just a nude peachy pink shade, and this is really pretty. Obviously, I picked it out kind of for the springtime, so I did get some good use out of this, and I did enjoy using it. Then I also have my Urban Decay Vice. This is their Stay Naked Vice Lip Chemistry, so it's kind of like a lip stain, and it is in the shade Pink Slip, so it's like a lavender kind of lilac type of shade. It doesn't show up that intense on the lips. It's actually pretty sheer, and I do really love a good cool tone lip, so I did get some use out of this. And then next up, I have this e.l.f. lip gloss in the shade Sheer Watermelon. This is really old. I'm kind of debating whether or not to declutter it because it is so old, and I probably have similar things in my collection now. So I feel like I might just declutter this because it's so old and I don't really reach for it. There's other products I would rather reach for. That's it for the updates on those products. Now moving into the fun part, I picked out all of my new products just on my own. I didn't feel like going through my drawers with you guys because there is a little bit of a thought process and strategy that goes behind picking out these products. I generally wanted to pick one product from each category, but I was also keeping in mind the products that I still have in my project pan. So it did take me a good amount of time to pick out these products. So I just wanted to make this video a little bit faster and just show you guys the products that I ended up picking out. So starting with the face products, I did pick one concealer. This is the Makeup Revolution Eye Bright Illuminating Under Eye Concealer in the shade Light. And I chose this because I do currently have a concealer in my project pan, but it's really close to finished. So when I finish off that one, I will start using this one. And I do have a few other concealers in my collection, but I'm just gonna keep this in here as like my main concealer to focus on for right now. Next up, for a powder blush, I chose my Laura Geller Baked Blush and Brighten in the shade Tropic Hues. I haven't used this in forever, so a lot of these products is like kind of a mixture of really old products I haven't used in a while or new products that I want to get some use out of. So I'm excited to pull this back out and use it. It is a really pretty glowy blush. Then I decided to pull out the OG Abh Amreezy Highlighter. I haven't used, I don't remember using this in like the past year or two, so I definitely should pull this out and get some use out of it. Although it is a pretty intense highlighter, I think I can sheer it out a little bit to be a little bit better for every day. But I am excited to pull this back out and get some use out of it because I really do love this highlighter. And then I wanted to pick out one face palette just so that I'm rotating through my face palettes and getting use out of them, because face palettes is a category in my makeup collection that tends to get neglected. And I did choose the Tarte Life of the Party face palette. This packaging is super bulky, so I literally never reach for it. I don't remember the last time I used this, but I do really love the cheek products inside of here. These blushes, I mean, this is kind of a really bright color, but I will definitely get a lot of use out of these too. And I also really love the bronzer and the highlighter. So I'm excited to pull this back out, or pull it out for the first time in a while, and get some good use out of it. For a cream or liquid bronzer, I decided to pull out my Danessa Myricks Vision Flush in the shade Nutcracker. This is a really pretty sort of contour bronzing shade, and I haven't used this in a while. It is relatively new to my collection. I think I got it within the past year or so. So I want to get a little bit more use out of this, and I don't have a ton of liquid or cream bronzers in my collection, so I wanted to pick one out to put in this rotation, and this is the one I haven't used in a while. I did pick out some single shadows. I was just gonna choose one, but I decided to pull in my brand new Smashbox Always On Cream Shadow. This is in the shade Guava. I did just get this from the Ulta sale that was going on. And I also put in here my Smashbox lipstick. I guess I'll just show them together since they're both from Smashbox. This is in the shade Level Up, and it's just a really pretty nude pink shade, so I will definitely get a lot of use out of this. But I did actually get the liquid shadow or cream shadow for free because I purchased this lipstick, and I have kind of wanted to try a liquid shadow like this, and I specifically had in mind these. I was also kind of thinking of like the Rare Beauty liquid shadows. I just wanted to have a matte liquid shadow in my collection to try out and see if I would actually use it or if I would actually like them. So I did end up getting both of these recently from Ulta. And then my other single shadow, I decided to pull out my Kosas 10-second eyeshadow in the shade Globe. These are no longer available. They did sadly reformulate them, and I've heard from everyone that the reformulation is pretty terrible because Globe was an iconic shade that everyone loved, and it is no longer available. So I wanted to get some use out of this. I haven't used it in a pretty long time. And then for some eyeshadow palettes, a new palette that I recently got is the Aether Beauty Desert Sunset palette. I really love this palette. I've used it a few times already, but I wanted to keep it out and use it some more because I feel like these shades are perfect for the summertime. So before the summer ends, I want to get a little bit of use out of this, maybe try to use this coral shade right here. But this is a really pretty palette. I feel like these shades in here are so nuanced. It doesn't look very green, but on the eyes, it almost has this like green gold effect. And usually I don't like golds, but there's something about this palette where it's not too gold, but it's also not super green, but it's also kind of cool tone. Like, I don't even know how to explain these shades, but I just love all of these colors in here. And then I decided to pull out an old palette that I haven't used in a really long time. This is my Colored Rain Queen of Hearts palette, and this is a pretty dramatic palette. The packaging is very reflective, but it's dramatic, but it's also just neutral, so I feel like I can pull this off for every day. But I feel like the Aether Beauty will be more of an everyday palette, and this will be for a little bit more dramatic looks. And I do love the shades in here. The Aether Beauty palette is a little bit warmer, and I feel like this has some more purples in here, although it does have like this orange and some golds in here. But I feel like but I am really excited to pull this out and get some more use out of it. And then lastly, we just have some lip products. So from Aether Beauty, I ended up purchasing their, I don't know the exact name of these. They're something like the Lip and Cheek stains. So I did purchase 3. They just recently came out with these. They only came out with 4 shades. I probably would have purchased all 4, but it was sold out, so I sadly didn't get that 4th shade. I kind of wish I got the 4th shade, but I also feel like I definitely don't need it. And these colors are a little bit more out there. They're a little bit more bright. They look a lot darker in the tubes. I'm actually wearing one on my lips right now. This is the most nude one. It is the shade called Harmony. So comparatively, it actually looks like it's kind of the darkest. Harmony is like kind of a nude. I'm not even gonna try to describe these because I'm so bad at describing colors. I feel like these do lean slightly warm tone, but that just may have something to do with my skin tone. On me, they lean relatively warm. So I do have this one on my lips right now. You can also apply these to your cheeks, and I feel like I will definitely use them this way. If I put them on my lips, I will definitely apply some to my cheeks as well. That is why I didn't include any cream or liquid blushes in this Shop My Stash. So these are kind of a cross between a lip gloss / lip stain and also a cream or liquid cheek product. So I'm really excited to use these and just try them out and see how all the colors look on me. And I do already really like the formula. I tried them on, like I tried all of them on. The colors are definitely a little bit brighter, but once it wears off and sort of shears out a little bit, it is a stain, so it doesn't completely disappear, which I actually like because it does leave a little bit of color behind on your lips. They are generally pretty bright, but I feel like they're perfect for the summertime, and they're slightly out of my comfort zone to where they're very unique to my collection. So I am really excited for these. And then I also wanted to pull in just an older gloss in my collection. This is from Persona. It's in the shade Honey. So this is going to be kind of like my nude lip, since all of those Aether lip glosses are pretty bold. And I'm excited to pull this back out again. I don't remember the last time I've used this. I have kind of neglected this gloss. So I would eventually like to pan this, and I don't know how quickly these go bad, but I have had this for a little while, so I would like to finish it off within the next year or so. Lastly, I included a couple lip liners. One of them is an older one I haven't gotten much use out of. It's actually not that old, like I bought it within the last year. This is the NYX Professional Makeup Lip Pencil in the shade Nude Pink. So this is obviously just like a nude pink shade. It is pretty light, but it is going to be just a really good everyday nude. And then I also included my brand new Jaclyn Cosmetics lip liner in the shade Cupcake, which is another pink, but it's a little bit more of a brighter pink shade. So it is definitely different from the NYX one. The NYX is kind of like a nude. The Jaclyn is for like a more intense pink lip. And I also have a lip liner in a Project Pan right now that is kind of like a dark brown tone. So it's definitely very different from both of these. But that is it for my Shop My Stash this time around. I will hopefully do an update in a month or so, maybe a little bit over a month. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you like these videos, let me know down below in the comments, or also let me know any other videos you guys would like to see from me. But if you did enjoy this, make sure to give it a thumbs up. I do post new videos once a week, so if you want to see more from me, make sure to subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell icon to get notified every time I post. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.